Hi guys. Looked over your fallacy responses and generally good work. I mean, it's a classwork grade. Most of you will get full credit. Some of you won't because Microsoft Teams shows me how long you spent on the assignment. So those who went under 5 minutes on the assignment probably won't get full credit. And the same as those, and they're generally the same category of people whose answers were clearly copy and pasted from one another. Now, I know there was some major answer sharing because you all gave the same answers, but I understand that was going to happen, and the goal is that you're hopefully making some progress, making sense of them. So here's what we're going to do for the next 2 weeks. We're going to continue this week I'm going to give you a few different ways to continue to get to know fallacies. Next week, your big assignment is going to be you are going to find some examples of fallacies in real life, on the internet. You're either going to post them with links in writing and explain how these fallacies work. You're going to find several examples, probably 3 or 4 examples per person, or you can post a video talking and explaining the fallacies, which would be kind of fun, and post a link on Teams or however you want to do it. That will be next week, so you can start working on that now. This week, I'm going to give you a few resources to continue to get to know fallacies and to be familiar a little bit with the ones you're not responsible for knowing this unit. So one of the resources I'm going to give you is a game. It's kind of hard, but it uses tons of fallacies, not the ones we're covering exclusively. It covers them and others. But it'll ask questions, and you're supposed to guess which fallacy it is. And there's explanations of what the different fallacies are. So this will help you be aware of more fallacies, and you're going to recognize these type of arguments. So it's sort of a game you can play as long as you want to get to know them better. Secondly, I'm going to post a funny video about Donald Trump giving a speech in which fallacies are used, and you got to check it out as well and see how it explains the way fallacies are coming up in his speech. Now, to come back to the ones we're covering, a bit of feedback on what you guys turned in. A couple of the things that the most consistent error was about the tu quoque, the first one, the you too fallacy. So most of you understood this idea, but there's quite a few who acted as if the person who was making the argument and then not washing their hands was the one committing the fallacy. That's not how it works. So here's how ad hominem works. You and I are in an argument. Now, if it's a good argument, we're discussing ideas. I might be disagreeing with your idea, you're disagreeing with my idea, but we're focusing on our ideas. Let's say I reach a point where I can't argue with your idea. So instead of talking about the idea, I talk about you. I make it personal. I say, well, yeah, but you don't do that. Yeah, but you do this other thing wrong. Now, instead of defending the argument, you're defending yourself. This is ugly, right? It's not actually helpful. It makes society worse, but people do it literally all the time. Anytime someone moves their focus from the argument to the person making the argument, anytime they make it personal, it's called ad hominem. If it's personal in a random way, I'm just attacking you because I'm mean, that's abusive. So something not related to the argument. But if I'm attacking you because I'm saying you aren't doing the thing you're arguing, that's tu quoque, you too, right? Now, the important thing to notice is the example it gives in the book shows this example well. If I'm smoking and I'm saying you shouldn't smoke, now obviously your instinct is going to say, but you smoke. And that's a good point to make, except it doesn't make my argument wrong. Smoking is bad for you whether or not I do it. So if I say, so-and-so says that smoking is bad for you, and you say, yeah, but he also smokes, that hasn't changed the argument. It's just made it personal, right? If you want to argue with whether or not smoking is bad for you, bring scientific evidence to prove that smoking isn't bad for you. But don't make it personal about the arguer. Anytime we move away from the argument to the person making it, and politics does this all the time, then we've committed ad hominem. The second one I was going to point out is the third one. Many of you said hasty generalization. My friend wore a mask and didn't get the virus, therefore masks prevent the virus. I understand. I get it. You could say it's a hasty generalization for sure. I think there's a better answer. The better answer is false cause, or post hoc is the other name for it. False cause is anytime we think one thing causes another just because one thing happened and then the outcome happened. So The false cause in this case is just because he wore a mask and didn't get a virus doesn't mean wearing the mask prevented the virus. Preventing the virus could have prevented because there was no one else sick on the plane or because he washed his hands carefully, right? So just because A happens before B does not mean that A causes B. So if I say, I'm going to wear my green socks because last time I wore my green socks for a basketball game and we won, therefore these socks make me lucky. That's false cause, right? Because just because I wore the socks and then we won doesn't mean that wearing the socks caused me to win. And the same is true with the mask. In this case, hasty generalization also works. I get it. You all put it, so I know there's some sharing going on. But false cause, I think, is actually the more precise answer. Anytime it's about A causing B, look for false cause, especially if there's no proof given why A causes B. Okay, that's a little bit of my feedback. So this week, continue to practice with the fallacies. If you have any questions about how fallacies work, post them in the group, and I can make a video later in the week doing some more teaching, explaining how it works. Take care, guys.